right. Hello, hello, hello. You get these comments going. Let's see. All right, here we go. Hey, Miss Kizzy, good to see you. Vanessa, hello. Stacy, good evening to you. Hey, Katie. Anthony, good evening to you as well. Jasmine, hello. Cheryl, hello. And Alan Westbrook, hey. Moms against um, um, I'm man enough to be a mom. I think I said it right. Um, Good to see you, Ann. Uh, Happy Friday, Amanda. Erica, hello. Teresa, hello. Cheryl, I am pressing on the best way I can. Yashika, thank you. Vivian, all the way from Cleveland, Cuyahoga County. Good to see you. Layla, blessings to you. Tanya, hello. Lenora, hello. Marcella, good evening to you. Marcia, hello. Hey, Frenchie Bynes Jones, good to see you. Tawanda, um, Monica, greetings to you. Good to see you. B. Lynn Roberts, always a pleasure. Sandra Green, thank you so much. Uh, Thank you so much for caring. Uh, Margarita, good evening to you. Tiona, hello. James, good evening to you. Diane, hello. Darnisha, hello. Good evening. Uh, Vanessa, hello. Desmond, I tried to call you, man. Vanessa, hello. Alexis, hello. Kish, good to see you. Melissa, hello. Leslie, hello. Tara, that's right. I am man enough to be a mom, man. Thank you. Felicia, Dorothy, thank you so much. Erica, hello. Amira, hello. Dwayne, that's Dawn, I'm sorry. Hello. Hey, Mama Lieberman, good to see you. Mrs. Flo Robinson, hello. Thank you so much. Hey, David, we are Savannah Strong. Yes, we are. Katie, good evening. Wanda, good evening to you. Raymond, good to see you from Port Wentworth, all the way down the street. Latrell, hello. Tina, good evening to you. Tamika, hello. Michelle, thank you so much. Jeremy, hello. Trish, good evening. And I will do what I can. Cassell, good to see you, Coach. Deborah, good to see you. Brenda Middleton, one of the best manicurists in the world. I need an appointment. For real, though. For real, for real, for real. Deborah, that's right. Keep the faith. Muhammad, good to see you. Teresa, hello. Katrina, hello. Lisa, good evening. Ray Shamel, good to see you. Hey, Miss Jane, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Leanne, we'll get to that in a minute. Hey, Miss Mary, good to see you from Decatur. Neil, hello. Charmin, good to see you. I'm doing the best I can. My brother Jeff, good to see you. Letitia, DJ and the mama, good to see you. Patricia, I'm sorry, I've been really busy. I will call you back. Sheila, hello. Faye, hello. Derice from Carver Village. Condolita, good to see you. Russ, no, Carmelingo, good to see you. Angela and Vondolin, Lydia, hello. Good to see you, Dusty. Nolan, hello. Judy, hello. Sharon, good to see you. Thank you so much. Vera, I'm waving back at you. Lisa, we're going to talk about some schools in a minute. Tisha, good evening to you. Sheila, hello. Jacqueline, I love you too. Nanette, hello. Good evening. Melanie, hello. Andrew, hello. Good to see you. Beverly, hello. Sherilyn, good to see you. Glennis, hello. Carol Ann, hey, from Richmond Hill. Kareem, thank you so much. Hey, Bishop Nathaniel Smalls, good to see you. Erica, always a pleasure. Charlene, Nadia, hello. Thank you so much. Rose, hello. Hey, Courtney, good to see you. And Lucille, all the way from Clio, Georgia. Thank you. Latricia, good evening. And Darnisha, you hope to see me at the bike helmet giveaway. I'm supposed to be there. Oh, make sure I know. Make sure I know I'm supposed to be there. Hunter, good to see you, sir. Hey, Horace Trey Magwood III. Rebecca from the great community of Parkside. Minister Pinckney, hello. Dean, good to see you. Portia, I'm sorry. E. Joyce Parrish, hello. Sean Christopher, I really want to talk to you. I'd rather talk to Skylar. So we want to see Skylar. We don't want to see you. Reba, good to see you. Irish, thank you so much. Lucy, hello. Bree, hello. Good to see you. Shatina, set it up. We'll get on your show. Isaac, Lakeisha, good to see you. Premier, good to see you. Victoria, hey, I love you too. Stephanie, Williams, Ruth, Linda, thank you for praying for me. I need it. And again, Renee, we'll talk about that in a little bit. Good evening, Ashley. Melinthium, hello. Dion, good to see you. Anthony, God bless you too. Again, make sure I have those details because people be sending me places. I don't know where I'm going. So, Hope, good to see you. Michelle, you called the number. Inbox me, Michelle, and let me get on that. Raquel, thank you. Tiffany, hello. Oh, Tiffany, I had a great time with the Horizon students. Hey, my cousin Monica, Jeanette, good to see you. I'll remember to do that. Vivi, hello. Hey, Juan and Corey, thank you. Donna, hello. Diego, como está mi usted? Saludos to you too. Derek, hello. Arlicia, good to see you. Carrie, we love you too. And good to see you, the great First Lady, Sheila Hicks, Jinx Odom, good to see you. I'm doing all right. We love you, Carrie and Cynthia. And my executive order, Lee, I will send it to you if you inbox me your email address. And thank you. Monica, hello. Good to see you. Sandra Smalls, good to see you. Good to see you, Leah. I'm still waiting on that visit. You're keeping my boy away from me. John, good to see you. And good to see Brittany and Melissa. And Lay says hello, Jareen. Tell her I said hello. Wendy, thank you so much. Letitia, I love you too. Kathy, hello. Valencia, hello. Kimberly, hello. Renee, thank you so much. April, hello. Good to see you as well. Carlitha, good to see you. Sandra and Andrea, hello. Whitney and Mar, let's see. Thank you so much. Desmond's getting real. Thank you so much. Sandra, thank you. Rashida, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started. Carmen, good to see you. Faith, Jason as well. Eddie, hello, good to see you. Brandy, I'm trying to get to the end of this list. Brittany and Sandra, Chandler, Letitia, Daniel, Cheryl Jones, I think I'm mad with you. Alonzo, good to see you. Laura, hello. And I see you, Sandra. And Don, I'm going to talk about that. Eddie, Ernestine, Monica, hello. Hey, Christian Odom, good to see you. Leslie, good to see you. Major, good to see you. Trell, hello. Sandra and Sarah, hello. It's time to go ahead, get to work. So, you know that if it's Friday and we're under a pandemic, if it's Friday, we're under a pandemic, and you don't have anywhere else that you have to be, you need to be home. And that means it's time for Friday Night Live. And so Friday Night Live is our every Friday night get-together. It's our date night for those of us who are keeping the faith but following the science. And then for a couple of haters, too, we wanted to have them and welcome them to us as well. But for most of you, you understand very clearly where we are in this point in time. You understand very clearly that we are keeping the faith and following the science. We understand very clearly this is not a time for politics. This is a time for public safety. It's a time for public health. And so we get together every Friday and we just talk about a bunch of stuff, and then we will answer some stuff, your questions as best I can. So a lot of stuff to talk about, and so let's get to it. Get the drink of water. But I hope that if you don't have to be somewhere, that you are home. So let me get the, hey, Harmony, good to see you. Idell, I love you too. And April, I'm your date night. You my date night too. I don't have a date, so you my date night too. So thank you. So let's talk about it. So we had a monument that was that was desecrated, that was vandalized in Laurel Grove Cemetery. And I mean, I think, it's straight up. For us, it's illegal. I mean, I don't care what your views are regarding it. The fact of the matter is, and as the mayor of the city of Savannah, it is public property. And to deface or to vandalize public property is against the law. So, we had a statue. Actually, I think the statue was called Silence, I believe, that was damaged, painted upon, the hand was broken off. And again, two wrongs don't make a right. So that statue didn't do anything to anybody. The statue was minding its own business in the cemetery, and somebody decided to vandalize it. It does not make it right. And as far as I'm concerned, to be absolutely clear where we are, we have means of finding you. When we find you, we're going to prosecute you. I mean, we're not going to do that. We are not going there. Savannah, we are better than that. We are better than that. We could have a very meaningful, very involved, very intentional discourse about the role of Confederate statues and the role they play in 2020 Savannah. As a matter of fact, I welcome that discussion. We need to be able to have it. But in the meantime, those statues are in the public space. And regardless of how we feel about them, they are in the public space. And civilized people discuss these issues and then come up with a way to deal with it. We don't vandalize and desecrate those statues. So for those of you who know who did it, those of you who think that it's okay, the answer is no, it's not okay. And the truth of the matter is, you're going to be dealt with according to the law. So I think that's easy enough. And I'll get to COVID in a minute. This week, on this Wednesday, I was really happy to introduce another chair at Savannah's table. We call it ARCS. ARCS is the Advocates for Restorative Communities in Savannah. And what this is a reentry program. We have had individuals working really in silos around this community for quite some time that are working with issues of reentry. What do we mean by reentry? We mean that people have gone to jail, they've gone to prison, they have served their time for the things that they have done. They then come home, and then they find it extremely difficult, if not impossible, to reintegrate back into society. So the reality is if they're not able to successfully reintegrate into society, their chances of recidivism goes up. And their ability to be successful goes down. I want to be very clear about that. Let us not get too dignified and too high and mighty, because as I said during the press conference, if you got caught for some of the stuff you did, you would be locked up too. Now, you can play all you want to, and be high and mighty, sanctimonious, oh, I never did. Oh, yeah, you done did some crap too. You just didn't get caught. Or you had an attorney or access to an attorney who got it bumped down to something else. Come on now. We going to be real. And so I believe that every saint has a past and every sinner has a future. And so we want to look at people for who they are and not for what they have done. If they have paid their debt to society, we need to be like the father and the prodigal son and welcome our family back home and do what we can to help them to be successful. The faces of integration, the faces of people who are criminal justice involved, is not necessarily what you think. They're not all like black dudes who got muscles all over the place. No, I mean they're women, they're children, they're young people. They're of all races, all beliefs. They are all over the community. Sometimes you just don't know what their path has led. And as I said during the conference, the truth of the matter is this: is that some of the best lives that have ever come across our nation have found their way through a jail cell. Martin Luther King was in jail. Malcolm X was in jail. Nelson Mandela was in jail. I think that we have to be very, very careful when we judge people based on the things that they've done. Now, again, when they pay their debt to society and if they want to do right, we as a just, loving, and beloved community that we say we are and that we say we're going to be, we have to do our part to make sure that we're helping them to be successful. And so I want this city to be intentional about our intent. I want us to be intentional about our love and our care and our concerns. So these are what I've called reentry superheroes. These are people who this is what they do, and we will be letting you know what we're going to be doing. I'm excited about it because that means we're giving people a second chance. And how many of you know everybody deserves a second chance? I just believe that. And so as we move forward in our city, we have now created a chair at that table for those who have been in prison or in jail and coming home. Outside Atlanta, we have more people returning back to Savannah or Chatham County than any place else in the state. And somewhat upwards of 55,000 across the state. They come home every single year, and the state seems to be pushing them out more. We have to find ways to be successful. Now, there are some people who just going to do what they want to do. Well, then there's places for them. But for people who want to try, we have to help them to be able to do that. And so that's why we're going to do that. And that is why, again, we know that, God changes hearts, God changes people. We know circumstances and we know lessons change people. And I want to be able to use these justice-involved people to help me go out in these streets with these young people and let us help turn their lives around. Because you know what? They'll listen to people who've been there. I've never been there. So, I mean, you can't really lead sometimes where you've never been. And so I'm going to be using these individuals to help us to find ways to make this. I mean, the fact of the matter is these are fathers. We know kids need their daddies. We know that. We know little boys need their daddies to teach them how to be men. We know little girls need their daddies to protect them and tell them that they're beautiful. We know that little girls need their fathers to be able to show them their worth. That's why we're doing it. We know that mama needs her son home to help take care of her in her older days, or daddy needs their son or daughter home. Again, we're going to do that. So we're looking forward to that initiative. So it's called ARCS, Advocates for Restorative Communities in Savannah. I'm very, very excited about that. And so with that, we will be dealing with issues of self-esteem, mental issues, mental health issues, issues of substance abuse. Again, because sometimes when people go away and they come back, things are not the way they used to be. People have moved on with their lives. And so it's like you push the pause button on their lives and other people have been going on, and then people come home and their people are not where they left them. And so, again, we have to do what we can. So we're going to create ways for them to have housing. We're going to create ways for them to have employment. We're going to create ways for them to be successfully reintegrated into our society. And again, I'm excited about that. So just wanted to tell you about ARC. So let's talk about COVID. Oh, boy. So COVID, and I want you to know, in the words of Whoopi Goldberg in the movie Ghost, when she said, "Molly, you in danger, girl." We in trouble. We are in trouble. TROUBLE. Here we go. Again, keep the faith, Right now, let's talk about the science. In Chatham County today, we have 2,334 cases. We have 254 hospitalizations. 2,334. 2 weeks ago, we were at 999. Okay? An interesting fact, today, we surpassed, remember Dougherty County, Albany, Georgia, which had that big outbreak? Chatham County has now surpassed Dougherty County in the number of infections. Dougherty County, remember, was the first hotspot in Georgia. And now Chatham County has now eclipsed that by almost 200 cases. That's how serious this is. It's serious. It's real serious. Consider that a week ago, we had 1,377 cases. Just 1 week ago. 1,377 cases. Today, we're at 2,334 cases. 1,000 cases in just 1 week. And y'all, not the Friday Night Live crew, I'm talking about other people, act like there's nothing wrong. Consider this. In May, we had 266 cases in May. In June, we had 809 cases. In July to date, and this is only the 10th day of the month, we have over 1,000 cases in Chatham County. Let's be really real about this. We have less than 20 ICU beds available in this county. And we have over 100 hospitalized cases of COVID. Right now. You need to understand how serious this is. Again, talking about the science. These facts are indisputable. The first 7 days in June, Chatham County had 45 cases. The first 7 days in June, we had 45 cases. The first 7 days in July, we had 636 cases. First 7 days in June, 45. The first 7 days in July, 636 cases. Starting to make sense to you now? That you know, we're not as well off as people want to make it out that we are. Today, we recorded 219 new cases, which is a new daily record. Today, 219 more cases. Our 7-day rolling average is 106 cases, which is also a new record. Our 14-day rolling average is 95 cases, which is a new record. Okay? This is serious. This is real. We are doing testing. We realized that the health department needed help because it was hot outside and the volunteers and the staff were like suffering a heat stroke, having all that stuff on them. So we've worked with them to open up your arena, the Savannah Civic Center, to allow cars to come in air conditioning, and drive the cars in the Civic Center and be tested in the Civic Center. And we have passed 41,000 people being tested for this community. We recognize that everyone does not have cars. So starting next week, we will start walk-up testing in addition to drive-up testing at the Civic Center. We want to make sure people get tested as much as possible. I also wanted to let you know that there was a scare at City Hall. Someone who works close with me and I come in contact with frequently contracted COVID-19, and out of a precaution, myself and my entire team and pretty much everybody in City Hall was tested. I'm going to stay away from all of y'all and wrap myself up in saran wrap because that's not a test I want to do again. I felt like the Q-tip was rubbing up against the bottom of my eyeball. I literally felt it go all the way to the bottom of my eyeball. But thank God I was negative. Most of us were negative. There were a couple of positive folks. And so we're quarantining them. And again, we're hoping and praying that they'll be fine, and we trust that they will be fine. But this is something that is serious. My friend, Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms in Atlanta, asymptomatic, and yet herself, her husband, and one of her children, COVID-19 positive. And so we pray for her as well. So this is serious. And so it was because of these reasons that on June the 30th, I instituted an emergency order that required mandatory face coverings or masks in Savannah. Savannah was the first city in the state to be able to do so. We have since been followed by the cities of East Point, Athens, Atlanta, Hinesville. Other cities are doing it and following our lead. We don't feel like we're in conflict with the governor. The governor thought it was so important that he flew around the state talking to people about wearing masks. And we agree. Masks are important. In Savannah, it's mandatory. Hashtag Mask Up Savannah. Mask Up Savannah. We are serious about this because we realize that we're playing on a short field. If we have another breakout, and again, let me be very clear about this. This is not the second wave. This is the first wave. There's still a second wave to come later on in the fall. So if we're not careful, our city, our economy could be totally devastated. And to be honest with you, I want to do everything I can to keep our citizens safe. Period. That order went into effect July the 1st. The city has bought thousands of masks, and my instructions and my order is that our police officers, and we've gone all over the city handing out masks. Before we issue you a ticket, we will offer you a mask. We don't want your money. We want you to comply. That's what we want you to do. We want your compliance. If you choose to be Billy Bad behind and I'm not wearing it, then, that's on you. You'll have to deal with that in a court of law. The governor, rightfully so, has indicated publicly he was not challenging my emergency order, and I appreciate that. And yesterday, the Savannah City Council affirmed my emergency order. Now, that means that the fine is up to $500. Up to $500. Please do not test our resolve in this matter. I've heard people complaining about personal freedoms and all of that. Well, I think I have the right to be free from getting sick from your germs, getting sick from your corona. I just think I do. And so for those, and again, a lot of people complain and don't even live here. I don't understand why it's an issue to you. Handle that where you live. Handle that where, you pay property tax. I mean, Savannah got this. If you're in Richmond Hill, if you're in Effingham, or if you're in another municipality and you don't like what we're doing in Savannah, then stay where you are. And if you refuse to wear a mask, you probably need to stay where you are anyway because we don't want your corona. We want to take care of our city. And so you could be free in your house, in a different county, in a different city, and we still love you just the same. No hard feelings, for real. For real, for real. But, you know, we're taking care of our city. So over last week, I went out and looked around and said that for us, we noticed, I saw trolleys and tour companies and walking groups and some businesses that didn't seem to get it. Now, let me throw in a thing in this. Walmart on 17 is not in the city limits. Walmart, all the way out there on Highway 17, is not in the city limits. So many of you all are coming and you're saying, you know, Walmart on 17 and not where, well, it's not in the city. It's in the unincorporated county. The other thing is the Walmart over on Montgomery Crossroads is also not in the city limits. So y'all, please, 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 don't send me any more messages saying about what Walmarts are doing. If they're on 17 or if they're on Montgomery Crossroads, you know, they're outside the city. But you have the opportunity here that if they don't care enough about you to ensure that everyone wearing the mask are coming into their store, then don't go there. That's how you vote. You vote with your dollars. And to be honest with you, and I'm saying this only for me, if a business is not requiring people to wear masks, they're not getting any bit of my little hard-earned money. Sorry. Because that tells me that, first of all, you don't care about your employees. And then secondly, it means you don't care anything about me. So there's some stores, Hobby Lobby, I ain't going to Hobby Lobby. Nah. If y'all, you know, they said somewhere, we're not doing it. Okay, well, fine, don't do it. I'm not going there. Y'all stay away from them too. Because if they don't care enough about their employees, if they don't care enough about you, you don't need to advocate for them. Again, my personal opinion. My personal opinion. But if they don't care enough about you, I don't think you need to be there. And I'm getting ready to go visit some Home Depots because I've heard some stuff about over there. Again, if you don't care enough about us, and I've spent this week calling corporate offices, and I will continue to call them. Now we have raised the fee on businesses that are not complying to $1,000. We're going to give you the chance to comply. If you don't want to comply, we will go ahead and fine you $1,000 each time. And then we're going to declare you a public nuisance and we'll shut you down. Try us. So, again, you know, we're going to do the right thing. So, I don't know about Hobby Lobby and Pula, Mother Odom, but I know about the one in Savannah. You better get it right. Better do right. So, if there are businesses out there that are not handling it, you know, that's the deal. So, Savannah led the way in wearing masks. Grateful for those of you who supported us in this. And again, we want to make sure that it's doing the right thing. But I want you, again, how you drive public sentiment is by how you use your hard-earned money. And for businesses who do not want to comply, don't go there. Don't go there. Because the fact of the matter is we don't need to have businesses out here making their employees sick or making you sick. So that's all I got to say about that. So, many of you have been asking me about the schools. Now, let me do some disclaimers. The first thing is the old folks used to say, I don't have chick nor child in the public school system. I don't have not a child there. None that I know of, for real. I have children I love that go there, but I don't have any biological children there. But I, like you are a you're a taxpayer. I pay taxes for kids, for our public school system, for all 36,000 of them, or 38,000 of them. So therefore, I have an opinion when it comes to that. And I'll be honest with you, and let me say this up front. The views expressed here are the views of Van Johnson and nobody else. There is no way, given our current situation, in my opinion, that we could allow our children to return back to school in the situation that we are in today. Keeping in mind that we won't know what our exposure was from July 4th until probably the end of July. We won't know. We know we have some exposure. So our numbers could be even more sky high. It is my opinion, and everybody has one, that we cannot safely ensure our kids' safety going back to school. And it is my opinion, and I implore our superintendent, I implore our school board to come up with something else. And let me tell you the reason why. And again, understanding where we are in this, and understanding either way it goes is going to be an inconvenience. It's going to be. But this is what the issue is. We have 38,000 kids in school. You can't make most of them sit down in a chair. You can't make many of them be quiet during instruction. But you mean to tell me that you're going to be able to make them social distance and wear a mask? Really? Really? Many of our kids don't know how to behave on a school bus. But you're going to make them be able to social distance on a school bus? What does that look like? How do you do that? I mean, that's the strange part for me. How do you do that? And to be honest with you, my concern is not necessarily about the children, but I care about everybody who works with the children. So, we have potentially 38,000 little super spreaders all in our school system. They will get, they could contract, and because they're young, it'll just kind of pass through them. But they have that teacher in that room. They have that paraprofessional in that room. They have that principal that they interact with, and that assistant principal, and that learning specialist. And they're on the bus with that bus driver, and in the cafeteria with those cafeteria professionals, and they're around those custodians who have to clean up all that stuff. What happens then? What happens? That's what I'm worried about. Some of these folks, our citizens, are immune compromised. Some already have health issues. And I'm sorry, but as far as I'm concerned, it's not worth their safety. Because when you talk about a school system, you're talking about a system that is more than just children. You're talking about a system that has professionals who have dedicated their lives and their professions to the education of students. The last thing they should have to worry about at this time is their health. So that you've asked, that's where I am. And so I don't know if Dr. Levette is on here. Sometimes she joins us. Dr. Levette, if you're on here, I'm not telling you what to do. I mean, you're way smarter than me. I mean, you're charged with that. And to be honest with you, I'm the mayor of this city, but I would much rather not be you. I just wouldn't. It's a hard decision to make. And again, on the flip side, we know a couple of things. We know that in school is primarily how students learn. We know that. We know that there is a socialization process as it relates to that. We know that. We know that for a lot of our children, when they eat at school, it's the only meal they get, only nutritional meal. And I hope that if Dr. Levette and the school board goes that way, that they'll find a way to help us feed these children. And I'll tell you, school board, if the city could be of help, we need to help. We need to help feed our babies. We need to help feed our children. And we know that it will inconvenience parents. We know that it'll overwhelm daycare centers. But keep in mind now, schools are not daycares. Schools are learning institutions. And we know that, many parents, if you know, because I know from kids I've dealt with, sometimes your kid's sick and you still send your kid to school. And you're not right, but you don't want to deal with it, or you can't deal with it. So you send them to school anyway with a fever. How long would it take for us to take the temperature of every single child in every single school? I think learning will be compromised then anyway. I really do. And so, again, it's a hard decision to make. It's a difficult decision to make. But Dr. Levette, and to those that are listening, and Lori said it right. I mean, then the school have to call you and chase you down and come pick up your sick kid. But if anybody has the opportunity to communicate with Dr. Levette or the school board, just call your school board member and tell them, we can't do this now. We are worse now than we were in March when we went home for spring break. Fact. We are worse now than we were when we went home for school break. So what insanity would make us bring kids back now? It does not compute. So please, again, this is me, but for the safety of those that we say we love, and if we love our children, we want our children to be safe. If we love our teachers, our faculty, and our staff, and we want them to be safe, then I will tell you, in my mind, now is not the time to open up our schools. That's my opinion. And maybe later on somewhere I'm going to say it. We have found ways for kids to virtually learn, and we need to help kids to virtually learn. And you know what? That's not a bad thing anyway. Why? Because the world is moving to a virtual platform. And I think that a lot of parents have begun to appreciate teachers a whole lot more when you found out that teaching your kids is not as easy as you thought it was. Yeah, it's harder than what you thought it was. So I want to, and I'm going to find a way, to help find computers for people who don't have them, to help our community be able to bear this, and hopefully find ways of creating ways for our kids to be able to learn. Public education is the public's responsibility, and we pay for public education. And so, that's where I am. We can't make kids stay on the left side, on the right side of the hallway, going down the hallway. What makes us think we're going to social distance kids in hallways? Really? And then how do we social distance kids in cafeterias? And how do we social distance kids in bathrooms? And how do we clean up in between every individual child? I mean, I think it's too much. It's too much. I think that we need to put a pause on this school year. I think that we take the opportunity to see what things look like, and maybe y'all let the superintendent know. I mean, this is my unsolicited opinion. Y'all call me with y'all opinions all the time. I want to give you my opinion, so here it is. Put a pause on it. If our numbers get better, then we go ahead and we open up, go back. It doesn't mean that we're gone for the entire year. If things get better in November, we open up in December. Things get better in December, we open up in January. But I think that we need this pause at this very critical time to help get things back into order. And so, put a pause on it. If you love your children, if you care about those who teach them, again, major, major inconvenience is really going to throw our routine out. And to be honest with you, I try to stay out of the politics of it. But I totally and wholeheartedly disagree with President Trump's desire to rush kids back into school. It defies the science. It defies the science. So hopefully, we're talking about defunding schools. He's talking about defunding schools. Well, I mean, hey, sometimes you just got to do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. And if he feels like he needs to do that, then, obviously there are ways and there are checks and balances in which we can do that. Remember, we the people, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice and ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty for ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. We got to do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. So that's where I am on that. So I think the hashtag for us, and I don't have the glasses on, so I can't. I see y'all saying stuff, but I can't see what you're saying. So, but I think for people, our code word to our superintendent, our demand of the superintendent, and our demand of our school system, safety first. Hashtag safety first. Can y'all do that? Hashtag safety first. Safety first. Can y'all do that? I can't see if you're doing it. Hashtag safety first. We're following the science. So if you have a chance to do that, want you to do that. Hashtag safety first. And we'll put it all over the place. We want to keep our kids home. We have that responsibility. They'll be okay. Believe it or not, kids can adapt a whole lot better than adults adapt. And I believe, we'll have the ability to make sure kids continue to learn. The reality is that they learn, not how they learn. And so that means now that parents, you're going to have to be much more involved in our young people's educational experience. And guess what? Maybe it's supposed to be like that anyway. I'm sorry, I went and ranting and raving about that, but this is serious. And a lot of you have been asking me about what I thought, what I felt, what I thought, what I felt. Well, there it is. That's what I think. That's what I felt. I think it is asinine to go back to school at this time. And so I'm going to let the superintendent be the superintendent. I'm going to let President Buck be President Buck. And I'm going to let the members of the school board be them. But as a taxpayer and as a voter in this community too, like y'all like telling me all the time, I can't see a safe path. For them to send our kids back to school defies the science, which means at that point it's nonsensical, and it means it makes no sense, which then means it's dangerous. So that's me. I'm sorry. It really gets to me. So that's where we are. And then finally, we will go ahead and we will talk about that. It's a good segue. Are you liking my page? Hopefully you're liking my page. If you're not liking my page, please like a page. Go to the Mayor Van Johnson page and click like, and then please share this video with other people. Again, we want to get the word out for our Friday Night Lives. This is a congregate date night. We just kind of hang out together, and I appreciate you all for all of that. So please let us do that, and like the page and share the video with other people as well. I definitely appreciate it. And again, we want you to use the hashtag Safety First, Savannah Strong. The other hashtag, Mask Up Savannah. Safety First, Savannah Strong, Mask Up Savannah. And I want you to put that on your feeds today. Can you all do that for us? Put that on your feeds. Because people sometimes need to be reminded that we are Savannah Strong. And we're Savannah Strong because we show Savannah love. And we're Savannah Strong because we're putting safety first. We're putting safety and science over politics, over emotions, over perceptions, or over feelings. Because it's in the end, it's the science that's going to stand. All right? So that's where we are. So finally, and we talked about President Trump and the federal funding, have you done your census yet? Well, guess what? Federal funding depends on the census. And we need Savannah to step up. We need our community to be in the census. We need you to be counted. So please, if you have not done it already, please, so much. Go ahead and make this happen for us. Please go to my2020census.gov, my2020census.gov. Took me 4 minutes. 4 minutes for me and everybody in my household. And so took me only 4 minutes. And so, let's go ahead. Again, it will help us to secure more federal funding. We're always saying we need money, and so we need you to do that. Okay, so I appreciate that, and again, Savannah is leading. We're leading in keeping our people safe. We're leading in helping keep our numbers down as best we can. We're leading in masks. We're going to lead, and hopefully our school board is going to lead with safety first. And we're gonna lead in the census. We need everybody, every single person, to be counted. So I think that was all I had to talk about today. And so let me get the glasses on and see what's on your mind, and we'll answer a couple of questions, and then we'll let you get back to your lives. Sherry Denise, thank you for your safety first. Thank you. Put that on your page, Sherry. Juan, thank you. Yeah, Samantha, yeah, we need you to do that. Oh, we need you to vote too. John, thank you. Erica, thank you. Hey, I like that. Well, thank you, Leslie. Thank you, James. Is Dr. Levette on here? Oh, thank you, Jennifer. We appreciate your service as a teacher. Did anybody know whether Dr. Levette is on tonight? Jessica, well, it is an option. It depends on the governor in a way. Deborah, thank you. I enjoyed my date with you. Melissa, we're at phase 1 now. Oh, Dr. Levette, you are on here. All right. So I don't know, Dr. Levette. It appears to me that you're thinking about not letting our kids come back on. I don't know where you are, but I stand with Ann. Okay, can you let's make that a hashtag. Let's show some support for our superintendent. I stand with Ann. Hashtag I stand with Ann, because Ann believes in safety first. I stand with Ann. Hashtag safety first. All right. Again, we're Savannah Strong. Good to see you, Elaine. Thank you so much. Samantha's right. Support our board reps. I can bring her on my live? How can I do that? Dr. Levette, I can bring you on my live? Wait a minute. Maybe I can. Wait a minute. Let me see if I can bring Dr. Levette on. Let me see. Dr. Levette, let me see. I'm going to see if I can do this. Wait a minute. Let me see. I'm going to try to see if I can find Dr. Levette. Let me see. We're going to see how this goes. I'm trying to figure out how to do this, so y'all just hold on. While y'all standing with Ann, Dr. Levette, if you're on here, why don't you go ahead and hit the I don't know. I have to invite her on my live. I'm trying to figure out how to do that. To invite her. Thank you, Dr. Harris. Thank you. Miss Milner, thank you as well. Angie stands with her. Good to see Mayor Pro Tem Cynthia Jenkins from Noonan, Georgia. All right, I'm clicking the box next to, let me see. I'm clicking on it, and I see guest request, and I see my viewers. Let me see. I'm going to see if I can find her. It's like 500 viewers on here. It's not letting me see all of them. I don't know how to do it. All right, so Chantel says you can request to join. Somebody tell Dr. Levette how to request to join so we can get her on here. That would be cool. Dr. Levette, again, Monica Jefferson's one of the smartest people I know. You have to click the request button at the end, next to the comments. So let's see. All right, Dr. Levette, if you're on here, you have to request to join. And so if you're going to go ahead, Dr. Levette, they're telling you to request to join. Hey, good to see you, Lori Jones Lewis. You said you requested to join? Let me see. You said a request. Let me see. I'm looking. All right, she's saying she requested. Wait a minute. Oh, wrong way. Sorry. I went the wrong way. All right, let's see. I'm seeing my viewers. I'm seeing a whole bunch of other people, but I'm not seeing Dr. Levette. There's two little green people. Let's see. And whoever is calling my house, I can't talk to you right now. Dr. Levette hit the green button. There are two green people next to the icons. She says she did. All right, let's see. She says she did. I'm looking. Oh, wait a minute. I see. All right. All right, let's see. Okay, I don't see the green people next to Dr. Levette. I see it against a lot of other people. See, that's why I need kids to go to school to help us figure out how to do this stuff. On my screen, I might see the box at the top to invite her. Caitlin, no piano playing today. Not right now. Let's see. It's not working. She says she requested, but I don't see it. Right by the thumbs up. Okay. Yeah, now I see everybody else saying they requested. Let me see. We're gonna stay on here till we hear from our superintendent. I see the little green thing next to it, but I don't see it next to her name. Hey, Elizabeth, good to see you. How can I accept it? Hey, Mayor Sam is listening. Good to see you, Mayor Sam. I appreciate that. Look, y'all sitting here getting mad at me. Look, I don't see her. I see Audrey and I see Judy Jones. I see Joanna. It shows up on the cell phone, not the computer. I'm looking. I do not see where I can accept. Nothing is coming up. I don't see it, for real. I took the glasses off and put it back on again. See? Do it. Open another tab on Facebook and check my notifications. Let's see. She's saying accept. I don't see the accept. I don't see it. I see all these other people on here. I don't see it. Well, y'all have probably messed it up. Erica, I'm glad you spent. All right, I can send a request. All right, so if I go to my viewers and I see guest request and I'm looking and I don't even see where I could search her. Y'all get mad at me. Hold a minute. I didn't get a notification, Monica. I didn't see a notification. All right. Well, that's smart. I could call her and put her on the speaker. I could do that. Let me see. Let's see. Look, y'all not gonna be sitting here trying to trip on me and make me look like I'm illiterate and don't know what's going on. I can usually do this kind of stuff. I don't know why it's not like that. Hit all the buttons. All right. Let me see. I see that. That's not it. That's the background. So we're not doing that. And if I do the turn around, tap my head and rub my belly 3 times. When I hit the green button, y'all say, help me, Lord. I see the light. I see this. And again, I just see, it's like 10 people in here. So, we're going to figure it out. I don't know. Look, I tried. Let me see. Well, we might have to do the good old-fashioned way because y'all are making me feel like I'm... Oh, look who's calling me. Dr. Levette?
Yes, sir.
Now, these people are not going to have me... They're not going to have me thinking that I don't know what's going on. I know how to work this stuff, but I don't see you on here. So, thank you for joining us. Hopefully, everybody can hear you.
Well, if they can hear me, that's fine. I'm going to mute you so it doesn't interfere.
Okay.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am. I didn't realize I've been talking about you most of the time. I don't know where your mind is, and again, I want to give you that was my unsolicited opinion. But you know, I didn't know everybody wanted to hear from you, so here you are.
Well, I appreciate it. I'll try to talk loud, so hopefully it'll go through really well. So I have been participating in the chat to let people know that we value the science and that's what we're operating on. And until it's safe, we need to operate virtually.
Right.
And that's a recommendation I will make next week. And I know that's inconvenient. I know it's disappointing, but we cannot self-affect.
Well, Dr. Levette, I know a couple of weeks ago, I remember you all did a trial. I think it was at Gadsden Elementary. I heard about.
Yes, sir. We did a trial at Gadsden and Forming.
How did it go?
Well, they can't stay still. I mean, they did well, but it was a very artificial kind of situation. But they did well, but it was very challenging for them, and we know that.
What grades kids are these?
I'm sorry, say it again.
What grades the kids were these?
At Gadsden, they were grades 3, 4, and 5. And then at Henderson Forming, they were very much younger, like kindergarten 1 and 2.
And so, how easy was it, or how difficult was it to try to keep them still?
Well, they did the best they could, but it was unnatural for them. So they couldn't share anything. They had to basically stay, very still. They had to walk 6 feet apart. And while they did it, those were very limited number of children. That was fine during that short period of time, those limited number of children. They were the only children in the school.
Right.
But you can imagine 500 or 600 kids in a school, 500 or 600, and they're all going to walk on one side of the hallway and only on the little spots that says 6 feet apart. That's not going to work. I mean,
Right.
We'll do what we can, but it's just not natural for them.
Right. Have you done an analysis? I mean, my thing was, how do you socially distance on a school bus?
A 72 passenger bus with social distancing can only hold about 12 kids.
So a bus that would usually hold 72 people, you can only hold 12 kids?
Right, and we have a bus. We marked the bus off so that if people wanted to see it, they could see it. We took board members onto the buses so they could see what a socially distanced bus looks like. Because you have to be 6 feet apart. Now, if you're from the same family, you can sit together, but most of the time, you don't have kids from the same family on every bus.
Right.
So it just makes it more challenging.
So again, so if you have if a bus that usually holds 72 people can only hold 12, then you would almost need 6 to 7 buses.
I couldn't hear you well.
Huh?
I couldn't hear you well. You were breaking up.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said if you have a bus that holds 72 people usually, and you could only put 12 people on it, then that would mean that you would almost need 6 or 7 buses to carry the same 72 people.
Right. Exactly. So remember, we transport 26,000 kids a day. So
26,000 kids a day you transport.
Right. So tell me how we're going to transport 26,000 kids a day. You can only get 12 kids on a bus.
Mm-mm. And then
my math is not that good.
what about and then my also concern was things like cafeterias and bathrooms. I mean, kids. I mean, how do you serve food to kids in a socially distant way when that's when or things like gym or things like sports? How do you do that in socially distant ways?
So you either serve a limited number of children in the school, or it was recommended that we serve them in the classroom, which a lot of kids eat in the classroom anyway. But what it does, it limits the kind of food that you can serve, because then you create a hygiene problem in the classroom as well.
Right. Because now you have food left all over the place and critters and stuff.
Yes, sir. And so, they're used to eating breakfast in the classroom, but breakfast is a different kind of food.
Right.
Now you're talking about breakfast and lunch, and it also limits the options that you have for the meal.
Wow. Well, and again, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how much you heard about Rand and Rave, but I think the kids infected, could be okay. My concern is about your team, your faculty, your teachers, the folks who come in contact with our babies every day. And my concern, to be honest with you, is that the kids could be all right, but they'll just infect everybody else.
Yes, sir. And I heard your comments, and I appreciate them because they make sense. The science that we know says it is not safe right now. The cases are going up, and I cannot afford to have a child or an adult to come in or be infected or infect other people. I cannot afford that.
Right.
You know, it's fine when people talk about their children, but I'm talking about 37,000 plus other people's children. And so people will complain right now, but the first time something happens to their child, their husband or wife or aunt or uncle or sister or brother, then it is, she knew better, she shouldn't have done it, even though we said we wanted it. So when things get better,
no, they'll forget they'll forget that they ever said that.
oh,
All of a sudden they'll have you in court on the people's court and all that stuff saying that you were negligent in keeping our kids safe. Oh, I know how that goes.
Correct. So, you know, people may be upset right now. We understand it, but we have to do what's right. And as soon as things get safer, we want the kids to come back to school, but they have to be safe. And until we work as a community to get these numbers down, then we are going to have to keep the children learning virtually. We are better prepared than we were in the spring. So things are definitely headed in a better direction for virtual education. We rather the kids come to school, but it's not safe right now.
Right. Well, I appreciate you again for you coming on. I think, you know, I don't know. Somehow or another, I got a wind of a letter that you sent out. So I don't know if it was supposed to be a confidential letter, but, you know, nothing's confidential in Savannah. That letter, the letter was all over the place. And so I kind of got an idea of maybe what you were thinking about. What can we do to help you? Because, I mean, I know it's a rough decision. What can we do to be of help to you?
Well, Todd, I missed some of what you said, but, you know, what we need people to do is understand that we are not we're not being negligent, we're being safe, and we're being children with special needs. We have a special plan for them and our children who don't speak English as their first language, and for our little ones. And we will have to work through this together. I ask people to do what they think is in the best interest of their child. I have to think about what's in the best interest of all children. And I understand that people don't necessarily like it. I understand that and I respect it. But for the majority of the children, I have to make the best decision. And right now, safety is the guiding principle. And I believe that that is the right thing to do. It is the science that says do that. And when we do that, I think we'll be fine. We've seen it happen. When we don't do that, we pay a price. And
Right.
I don't want to be responsible for making a decision because somebody else wants something to be convenient. When we really have to think about the children's lives and their staff's lives, and frankly, the life of our community depends on us all being responsible.
Right. Well, can I be absolutely honest with you?
Yes, sir.
And don't take this the wrong way. I don't like it.
Okay.
I don't like it. I do not like it. I think it's horrible that we're in this situation. I think it is, bad that kids are not able to be in the place that they love and the place where they learn and nurture. I hate it. But the fact that I don't like it does not mean that I don't think it's necessary. I believe I don't like it, but I think it's absolutely necessary that kids are not in school. I mean, so I think that, I think you raised a really good point here. I mean, people may not like it. And I mean, I don't think anybody should like it. But I think we have to understand that, the science says we have to go this way. I mean, to be honest with you, Dr. Livette, I don't think you like it. I mean, I think this complicates your whole life.
It does. I mean, I don't want people to think we don't want the kids in school. We want the kids in school.
Right.
It's best for them to be in school. But I also don't want them to come to school and then take something home they didn't bring.
Right.
I also don't want them to bring something from home and give it to someone else.
Right.
So, do we want the kids in school?
Yes.
Anybody who knows me, they know I spend my time in school. And I do that because I think it's the place for children to be. But I don't think it's the place for children to be if they're not going to be safe. I don't want that on my hands. I don't want that on my mind. But when schools can be, when things are safer, then we will bring kids back to school.
Well, I think the key word here, Dr. Levette, is safety first. So I told them a little earlier, I stand with Ann because I stand with our children. And, again, you got to do what's best, and that's why you serve us in this capacity. And I'm really happy that you have chosen to follow the science and not follow emotion or not follow perception. I will tell you, as mayor of the city of Savannah, our city is not as safe as we can be, and there is no way I think that we could safely return back to school in our present state. I just don't think so.
Well, I appreciate that. We have followed the science nationally. Mayors are now feeling more confident with protecting their cities because of what we have done here. And, our numbers are not where we want them to be, but they certainly are not where they could have been if we did not take the action, if you did not take the action that you took. And I know that there were lots of people who are not happy about it. There's still people complaining about it. But, it's one thing to complain. It's another thing to work to get the numbers down so that we don't have to live with all of these restrictions. And yes, I wrote a letter to the teaching staff last night because I thought it was important for them to know that safety is the priority. And yes, they shared it with everybody. People from all over the country have called today about the letter that I wrote because safety is first. And it is convenient. And I know it's inconvenient. But it also could be dangerous. And I'll take inconvenience over dangerous any day. We cannot sacrifice the lives of our staff, the lives of our children, because someone wants to have things convenient. So I say we do what we need to do right now so that we can enjoy the kind of freedom we want to experience later.
Well, thank you. And Bishop Jackie Gilbert Grant said wise decision. So if the bishop says it's all right, then it's well with my soul.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate the support. And I do appreciate the number of comments tonight indicating that people do want their kids to be safe, and they recognize that it's not an easy decision. It isn't. But if we do what we need to do, then we will not have to keep the kids at home for much longer. We just need to be safe first, and then we will work to get the children back in the building.
Well, I just want to thank you again. For you joining us on our Friday date night, and again, you're supposed to be off, but again, you didn't have to get on this, but I really, I appreciate you taking the time to come and be on with us and talk with these folks who really care about our kids. And I want you to know, whenever you're ready to make that decision, I'm gonna be standing right by you because I stand with Ann, and I stand with our children, and I believe in safety first.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I appreciate all of the viewers who ask good questions, and we're working on those. We'll be making a presentation next Thursday. We won't have all the answers, but we will continue to work on those. We understand lots of questions, but thank you for your support. Thank you for doing what's right, and thank you for standing with science.
Well, thank you so much, and like I said, next time I'm gonna figure out a way to get you on here for real. I think my phone broke. They sitting there trying to make me think I'm stupid or something. No, my phone must be broke. I'll figure it out though.
All right, sir. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So you've heard from Dr. Levette. I mean, that's actually pretty cool that we had able to have her on here to talk with us. So sorry for keeping you We're almost an hour and a half. We usually an hour. But I think this was necessary thing. So, again, I saw Councilwoman Vicki Nelson from Hinesville on here. My colleague, want to thank her so much for joining us as well. Again, these are conversations we have to have. What we do now will determine how well we come out of this. And I believe there will be a day when we will look at COVID in our back mirror. But how we get there depends on what we do now. If we take the easy road now, the convenient road now, I believe we'll suffer. I mean, again, I told you before, in my opinion, we should not have opened on April 24th. There was no way we should have opened on April 24th or 27th. It was way too early. Our numbers were still going up. And again, we are still in the first wave. And my fear is two things. One, that there is a second wave coming. And the other thing, we're in the hurricane season, and we know what happens around here late August, September, and October. I'm just saying. I'm very upset. The SIAC has canceled their football season. So essentially that means that Savannah State is not having a homecoming. Am I bad about it? Yeah. Because homecoming is like my time of the year. I'm mad about it, but I understand. Because in the end, the safety of everybody is more important than my personal convenience. But I'll tell you this one thing. I'll be on the football field by myself with a tent and some Rice Krispies or something. I'm going to get me some chicken from Popeyes, and I'm going to be underneath there on homecoming day by myself if I have to, with a wine cooler, and I'm going to be enjoying homecoming anyway, because homecoming is a spirit. I'm going to be there. Don't have to be no football game, but I will be there. So, for real, I'm going to be there. Nobody's going to mess up my football season, mess up my homecoming. We ain't going to have it. So, again, thank you all so much. We appreciate you all. We are working today for the future, and people will look back on the decisions we made today, which will set the trajectory for where we are going in the future. So, again, I appreciate all of you spending Friday night for me, and for me is almost 10 o'clock, which means really there's nothing else for me to do but go to sleep. That's what we do on Friday nights in Savannah because we're under a pandemic. We don't go to clubs because we know it's not safe. We don't go to nightclubs. We know it's not safe. And to be honest with you, we're not going to church right now because we know it's not safe. We stay home. We keep the faith. We follow the science. And so we will be together, and hopefully we'll see you again next Friday. Next Friday, we'll be back together again. As the old folks say, if the good Lord is willing and the creek don't rise. God bless you. We are Savannah Strong. Because we show Savannah love. And today, Savannah love is not only wearing a mask, but Savannah love is safety first for our kids. Safety first for our kids. Therefore, because we're Savannah Strong, we show Savannah love because we are safety first. I stand with Ann. I'm going to have to find me a picture of my superintendent and post it because I'm standing with Ann. And she need to let me know because I'll stand right there with her. We need to take care of our young people, and we have to take care and love on those teachers who are, be afraid. I mean, again, you have 37,000 coronaviruses walking around you, possibly, and they'll be fine. But we want to make sure we're going to do that. So anyway, keep us in your prayers, again, we'll get through this. We'll get through this together. We'll get through this with God's help. Thank you so much. Good night. And again, thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. You make my evening go so well. I mean, now it's nothing to do but go to sleep. So good night. God bless.